Can you please introduce yourself?
Chairperson of Women in Business in India. I'm here to attend this session.
Yeah, so are you also an entrepreneur yourself? All right. So what is your experience with capital funding?
Funding is not easy for us to get. Yes, we do really have information, but when we try to take a step, it's not easy for us. And I wish if maybe the funders can visit us sometimes. Yes, I'm sorry, we are in business forum. I mean, we are in women. So if maybe we can, they can manage to come to our venues where we all can sit there and then try to explain to them what is difficult to us and how to feel for how to apply. Sometimes it's maybe the way we apply it, not making or not reaching what they want. So it's not easy to get funded.
So what are issues that we should be addressed in this meeting that we are in?
Issues of funding, way and to show us how to apply, what must we do when we are applying, especially as women. We do have a lot of challenges. Sometimes we don't really know some of these things, but it's something that we keep on hearing about, but it's not easy for us to know. So hence I'm saying it is too difficult. Because sometimes they will ask you things that you can't even produce to them. You understand? So if they can start us from the bottom and take us to where they want us to be, so that we can find that will be best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. So, what is your name, sir? Ngqwemla. You are an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Tell us, what's your experience with capital funding?
Most of the time, I used to have like a part-time job because I sell online, so it's easy for me to do any kind of job. And then sometimes I ask an assistant for
funding.
Yes. But it's very hard to get funding these days because of they told us I attend a lot of seminars. Bank credit record it's hard to get it. If you have debt that you can't pay, it's hard to get funding. So most of the time, that's the only challenge that we get.
So what issues do you wish this meeting will address today?
Yeah, you see, the most issues that we get now, especially in the townships, is this issue of extortion. Because when there's gathering like this, there's high people that are familiar with the challenges that we get. So this problem of extortion is it's always like limit people to do business. Because now, if you have a business that is physical, then there's a lot of crime now. People want you to pay a fee to have a business. And now what we hear, how can we face this kind of problem? Because we all face the same problem. If you are in the township, we all face the same problem.
Right.
Sometimes even big business that are in the township face the same problem. So it's very hard. We want answers for this thing.
All right, thank you. So, and then what are the funding issues you wish can be addressed today? Funding issues that you wish can be addressed in this meeting?
Other funding issues, I think it's the problem of gatekeepers and the red tape. Because sometimes you see in this kind of industry, it's always about who you know. Even if your papers are right and everything, but you still not going to find a penny. Even if your papers are right, because it's all about who you know. And then the gatekeepers, the people, they want to give their friends. They don't want to give the people that are supposed to get the right funding. So it's very challenging.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. Okay. All the best. So can you introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, guys. My name is Kosi Mabitela. I'm working under Tsofense Facilities and Engineering. We are a waste and industrial waste company and a medical waste company. So we are based in part of Cape Town. Our head office is in Johannesburg. So we've been here in Cape Town since from last year, May. So yeah, this is me.
All right. So now, what is your experience with capital funding as an organization?
As an organization, it's been very difficult regarding the funding, you understand, because we don't get to talk to the right people regarding the funding, who makes the final decision regarding funding. So we are trying our way in whereby we can get access to funding, talk to a couple of guys, get to know them, and maybe they will get help getting the funding.
And what issues among the issues that you've experienced that you wish can be addressed in this meeting today?
I think the more we attend these types of events, then we can unlock opportunities regarding that.
All right.
Yes,
So I wanted for you to be specify to say you wish this and this should be addressed in this meeting. What is exactly the access to funding, or what information do you wish to gain from this meeting today?
Okay, the information that I wish to gain from this meeting is for them to unlock opportunities so that they can have a space for SMME, especially the small entrepreneurs in the township. That's what I wish to gain into this event.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for your time.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
appreciate it. Sure.
This opportunity in most of the communities that wasn't the situation. So the kids were right, go to school and you get yourself a job. What I then did was, while I was studying and while I was also teaching, I did some part-time lecturing at CPUT, that time we called it at the Belleville campus. And I was doing the lecturing to the commerce faculty. So it was like to entrepreneurship and management, and I think one member I think anyway. So one day going to the cafeteria, sitting and I'm having something because I'm a part-time lecturer, and the guy comes to me and sits down to me, and he was from the engineering faculty. And he asked me what am I doing, and he says, I've got a problem with my students. ESCOM is sort of taking these students up, but they're getting promoted into management, and they're not managers, they don't have the competencies and the experience. Then I said to him, why don't we design a course for your students in management? Then he said, great idea. I spoke to that time to Dan. Daniels was the dean that time, and he said, let's do something. And we decided we're going to do management for the BTech students. So the students finishing their engineering qualification in chemical engineering and electrical, and they will do the BTech course, the management course. Then I said to him, listen, why don't we introduce entrepreneurship? He said, hey, of course, first guy, I don't have to in. Because remember, you've got faculty of management science, and you've got the electrical or sciences that don't work, because that time things work like that, fast. And then I said, let's just take a chance. And we took a chance. And that proved to be one of the most popular courses that those guys did. And I can tell you, tracking about 10 students that call me regularly. Of that 10, about 8 of them started businesses. 5 started businesses outside of what they studied. Now that says a lot. And all of them that spoke to me said, if the seed was not planted there, it would never have germinated. So again, this whole thing of entrepreneurship, starting early already, that becomes an important thing. The next thing, and then I decided I'm going to go into partnership or so that time we call it a close cooperation with 3 friends, with 2 friends. First thing to do is go into business with friends, rather go in as acquaintances and come in as friends. But anyway, went in, we bought a massive service station in Montague Drive, Montague Gardens. So the Caltex there, and it was really hectic, really busy for that thing. But the things that I learned in the franchise is, besides choosing your franchise your properly, but in certain types of business, there are certain key factors that you have to take note of. And in the service station business, if you're not hands-on, someone will walk out of the door of that business, and that is what we experienced. About 4 years later, I said to my guys, listen, I can't because I was working, I have to shuttle up and down all the time. I said to him, listen, just pay me when we sort of make something in the business, right? 3-4 years after that, I got a call from a tenant where I was at a place, and he said, listen, there's a thing from the court. How is it? Went to, and I got my summons for 1.2 million rand. So at that time, I also had resigned, and I had to take half of my pension and to give it into that business, because the other 2 colleagues simply said, Although they don't have any money, whatever stuff like that. Hard lesson that I learned putting God together. Right? Yeah, very interesting one. I think also on that one, what I learned was that if you don't have family support, it becomes extremely difficult to run a business. Right? It was initially, the kids were happy to be at that service station for the first 2 months. After that, it really became something where you choose. And I realized, if you're going to bring in, you're going to start your business, you're going to have to get your family as part of that business. Okay, then why I did that, and I say this, guys, in my experience, is that there was a lot of wannabes. People came, and I think it was maybe a political eye. You can't find a job, start a business. So you had people that just I saw just didn't have the grit. And I mean, they were also complaints against me. That time, the minister was Ibrahim Rasool, and there were quite a few complaints against me because they told, what was my name? 7 o'clock Peters. Now, tell you why they called it 7 o'clock Peters. Is because I was, that time, what is called an SMME desk, according to DTI. And you just had to help. So we had no funding. So the thing that you had was your cell phone and you had a network. So anybody comes to me, I'm able to help them with access to funding, whatever. So that was my Roundup. And what used to happen is people would get referred by the minister's office, talk to John. They call me and they say, listen, they want an appointment. I say, I'm fully booked. I can see you in 2 weeks' time, or I can see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And that was almost a good testimony. That guy told me, I can't make it because it's too early. I would have really seen to myself, there is no way this guy is going to survive in business. And that's what I told the minister that time. I said, Minister, if this guy is not prepared, unless it's ready, he can't. But if this guy says it's too early, man, imagine going out of the shop at 6 o'clock. Anyway, that's the reason I learned it. I also found a lot of entrepreneurs. People who started businesses through tenders. And it's not wrong, but they never leveraged off that. It became something which, why didn't I get the tender? I got the last one. But someone else got the tender. Yeah, but why not get the tender? It's as if tenders was something that was had to be given to them on a continuous basis to sustain their business. There was some, grab a couple of tenders and just launch into a bigger business. Right? Many construction guys are for that. They sort of gather their tenders and they build their business, and we need to sort of the private sector to sustain the business in that way. The next one, handouts and entitlement. This is something which I saw in our days. I can tell you that the real entrepreneurs that made it were ones that didn't get handouts. It's just a strange thing. And I'm not saying I'm against handouts, but what I picked up was there were some entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs, that's about the handout all the time. You gave me training, where's the opportunity? You gave me the opportunity, where's the next opportunity? Right? And it was, I must tell you one day story, but anyway. Then at Human Settlements, I was in charge of this PHP housing, the low-cost housing, I was in charge of that. But specifically, we were looking at the empowerment of contractors. So the PHP is people's housing process, you get the community members together, they build the house and everything like that. That's how it should be. But what they did was the community sort of outsourced and said, let's get the community builders and stuff like that. And we had to help those guys, providing with upfront payment for the materials and stuff like that. And what I found there was that in the community, there were leaders that were actually not the official leaders, but they were leaders. And it's something which I picked up, in a normal community, you would say, okay, go to the councillor, talk to them. Actually, you don't talk to the councillor, it's a mistake. You must talk to the guy that leads the guy. And that was just something that struck, and I thought to myself, imagine just going into the township, not knowing that, and talking to the councillor, which is the wrong person maybe to talk to. Okay. Also, what that time, it was basically either you're doing sponsorship or you're construction. I mean, construction meaning anything. Those were the two things. There was very little sort of alternatives to that. So there's a lot of copying, putting people, we have a sponsorship guy, tomorrow we have another guy to put him out of business. And it just went on like that. So there was no real growth in terms of it. Then when I went to Cedar, and I became the provincial manager, we opened up the first, the Western Cape Cedar office, I got very much involved in operations because I managed people to do business diagnostics. Okay, so we would look at improving business. And the one thing that I learned here, I worked with an array of businesses. From the guy trying to sell a couple of bananas to, like I use an example, the guy's got the winery with sort of a couple of different lines on that thing. And the one thing that I realized there, the professional support that is required for business. And that is something which I picked up many businesses didn't see it as important. They just thought, you know what, I'm going to start a business, the business will grow, I don't need any support. Which comes to the other part there is that businesses don't want to pay for services because they don't feel it's something that is important. However, it is important in the business. So there seems to be that culture that when I take a business, I say, listen, I'll give you support for mentorship, but you're going to have to pay for, say training. They didn't see that as important. They didn't see, why must I be trained? Why must I pay for training? This isn't take money out of my business. The clever ones saw it as in part of their own learning, and they don't want that to do. Okay, so some of the common elements that I've picked up working with entrepreneurs. Now, what I tried to do here was, and you'll see that there's a reference to athletes, right? So I work also quite closely. I'm a key runner, so I work quite close. I mean, part of the running club with runners, or specifically endurance athletes. Okay, and if I look at them and us and entrepreneurs, there seem to be some common elements. Okay, that makes them elite and that makes them good. Okay, same with the so here's some of the things that I've picked up. Now I say it's anecdotal, it's not scientific, it's the things that I've picked up. The first thing is they accept failure as part of learning. You will find they will tell you horror stories of how they failed, but they always manage to get up and bounce back. It's like they say, you train your muscle till exhaustion. What happens if the muscle needs to grow stronger? And this is what they experience with entrepreneurs. They will fail multiple times, but they never call themselves a failure. They will always talk about school fees. I paid the school fees. No, Jonathan, I paid the school fees for that. What they simply meant was they learned the hard way and they came back again. Okay? The next thing here is they work hard and they persevere. I mean, I just use the Usain Bolt would say, he took about, he trained about, I don't know how many years to run less than 10 seconds. Now that sounds to be like really silly. If we as a runner, if you're doing comrades, we train about 160 Ks per week to run 85 Ks or 90 Ks one day. Same with the business. You put in the hours, and in many cases it is not seen. We only see the success part of it, but we don't see actually what has gone into. Okay? They network and build partnerships. Now this is the successful ones, the ones that I've seen, and irrespective, and what I like to say about this is, even if they are introverts, what I term myself, they put on the mask and they take on that role. And that's how they actually build their business. And they don't only build their business, they also build diversification through networks. They go into different areas, which because they see the entrepreneurs, they're looking always for different opportunities. The next one is, their background does matter, but it also doesn't matter. They will never use their background as something which constantly brings them down. They will use that as a stepping stone to somebody. And I try to use examples. There's obviously CRTVC, then there's also a lady from America who started from the cotton fields and became the first black industrialist. And then obviously Richard Maponya, who did the mall in Maponya mall in Soweto. And his story was I don't know if you know the story, but basically he started out in this company, and I think he was selling material, but he became so damn good at material that he was working with his boss, and then his boss said to him, listen, you're really good because you could feel the material, you could say where the material was from. The boss, because the sales were good, he knew how to operate. The boss was made the CEO. The boss said to him, you know what, Richard, we can't actually make you a manager because you're going to be in charge of white people, so you're going to keep you there. But what I will do, I will give you the soil material and the offcuts. And he took it. And he started pushing sidelines and stuff like that. When this guy left, that contract came to an end. Richard then had to go into food, and that's how it started. He started, I think, the first dairy where he started delivering on bicycles with the fridges. But his lifelong dream was that Makonyo. Okay, and 28 years later, he actually got that Makonyo. Right? Okay, then there's a long-term vision and high standards, irrespective of where they operate. They will not succumb to the low standards of the general. They will tell themselves, no matter what area I'm in, I am actually going to set high standards. That's something that I picked up from them. Discipline and committed. Discipline is doing the thing that you need to do so that there's a long-term sort of benefit. Right? Whether it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger who says, I hate gym, but you know what, I have to do it because this is going to get you what I want to do in the long. And again, same with entrepreneurs. Putting in that extra hours, opening up at 6 o'clock. All those things are important that are picked up. Also the mindset. Something I think we spoke about mindset. These people have incredible growth mindsets. Nothing gets them down. They set their mind on something and they actually go and achieve it. They will never back down from it. And you sometimes think to yourself, but I mean, gee, how can this guy be thinking like that? That's just the mindset that they have. You know, and then you're amazed sometimes at something in your mind, the crap that they're thinking, but it's stuff that you won't understand, you'll only understand it later. Okay, and again, despite the ones that I picked up, I know, despite the huge success, they still embedded in the communities and have a social impact. And I take it from Chip Covey. I think Chip Covey, he's the first guy to break the sub-2-hour marathon, okay? From Kenya. I mean, celebrity, but still very much involved in his community, building that spirit. Same thing with, I don't know, you know who that is, the younger people know who that second one is? Joe Sono. He used to play for Cosmos, but he played for Portugal, right? Made his fortune there, but I mean also made his fortune in franchises, but also remains very much involved in the community. I don't know if you know the guy, this one here. You know him? Now come a long time with him already. He's Asa, but his original business was Ngqwemla, which he still runs. Very much in the community with his partner. And you see there they're doing this community service in the stages. And I don't know, you know this guy, yeah? Okay? I'm not going to mention it at least. And then I use two examples. You know where they say, where was it when I came across this a few years ago? We were doing they still do the MBA exchange program. And then this American asked one of the culture entrepreneurs, so how did you start? You started at a garage. And the guy looked at me and he said, what was he saying? I said, no, I said, to explain to this guy that generally you won't start at the garage because where you live there ain't no garage. If there's a garage, you stay in it. So you generally start one of two places. And I think we are calling that part of the market is you start at the boot of a car. In this case, I think it was a Corsa Light. I think it's a 1300. Yeah, 1300. 2-door or 3-door that time. 3-door, okay. Corsa Light or Lightspace and his partner had 200 rand that they loaned in the morning to sell muffins and start this business and grow this business. So there he's got, I only put one of the businesses there, but he's got the Ngqwemla fast food, and he's also got his Dasa Highway. Okay, so that's how these guys started. So just some of my thoughts on access to finance, and I tried to make it balanced here. So I mean, touching on everyone. The first one is in terms of small business. This is what I found. When we have these things, access to finance, and then nobody can apply because they don't know how to apply for this, right? This is what I found. Poor record keeping. The things are just all over the place. So when you ask him for invoices, you ask him for sales, they say, yeah, no, but I make a lot of money. Yeah, but where's the, yeah, no, but I make a lot of money. How much you make? I think I make a lot because look there, I bought a microwave, I bought this. Financial literacy. Typical, use an example. The mechanic is a great mechanic. No, don't talk to me about that. Mamuchi does that. In this case, the wife does that. I don't worry about those things. Financially illiterate. The next thing there is knowledge of the types of finance. I don't even know. A guy comes to me and says, listen, I want to invest in a property. I'm looking at an overdraft. You can't have an overdraft for a property. Or, you know, I need cash flow. I want a long-term loan. So it's that as part of that literacy part. The sources of finance. Where you go, where you move. Is it family, fools and friends? Is it the bank? Is it investors and stuff like that? That's also the gap there. The next part is the financial management of just basic financial management. You know of the typical mechanic who left Mercedes-Benz, started his own business and went back 3 years ago, 3 years after that. And you ask, why? I can't understand it. I made money, man, but it just didn't work out. It's not only because he just never managed his business properly in terms of finances. Okay, there's people owning thousands of rand and never costed the job also. And the last one there is, I want to call it investment pitching. Going to pitch for money. That is almost an art talent. That's something that we work on, we need to work on. And again, I find when I talk to entrepreneurs, the one that's not so successful in finance, that's the problem that they have. When you talk about the pitch deck, they don't know what you're talking about. How are you going to pitch? Do you know who the bank is? Do you know who this? They just say, no, I'm just going to go for finance. Then, not that the creditors and the corporates and governments and finances must escape, but this is all part of the problem of finance. The first one is late payments by government and corporates. Right? They just pay you late, which means it puts pressure on your thing, which means you must have to get an overdraft. Whereas if you were paid in time, that wouldn't have happened. The next thing is squeezing prices and payment terms. Right, so you as a big corporate or as whoever, you squeeze that small guy in terms of prices, but you also squeeze him in terms of payment terms. So you tell him 30 days, 60 days, and you still pay that. The next thing is the product, I'm going to call it just specifically for the finances, is that the product's not matching the small business needs and circumstances, especially the finances. And I read things there, then you can see it collateral. We can't have a situation where you are collaterally based, in other words, the guy must give security. If circumstances has meant that he has never been able to build up security, that just don't make sense. We need to find new models of how we actually finance these people. Otherwise, it's never going to work. Okay? And the last time there is, I don't say it's a lot, is turnaround times of finance. And I think here the DFIs are problematic. I was talking to someone who got financed for a franchise within less than 2 weeks. That person, 20 years old, got financed for a franchise. If they had gone to a DFI, like CIFA or whoever, I guarantee you would never have taken 2 weeks. Now something is wrong here. So if you plan your business and you say I'm making financing from a DFI, that's going to maybe take you long. Okay? So we need to look at that one. Okay, so hopefully this is going to play. And I think this is just one of the inspirations that I listen to and I look at, and you can really feel inspired by. Right? So this was sent to me by my good friend Space. Hopefully it's gonna play.
Okay, just quick announcement. Can the owner of the vehicle of a jet black CAA 485959 please remove the car because it's blocking the parking? And then the second one is a Nissan black SUV CF 222247. Can you please remove your vehicle and it is dropped? It is dropped. Thank you.
I don't care if you don't have it. Don't you give up on your dream. I don't care if you don't have the money, you don't have the help, and you don't have the family for it, and you don't have the background for it, and you don't have the friends for it. Don't you give up on your dream. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. It may take you twice as long. You may have to take courses and classes. You might not read as fast. You might not move as quick. You might not have as much. But don't you quit. Don't you give up on your dream. I don't care if you don't have the money, and you don't have the help, and you don't have the family for it, and you don't have the background for it, and you don't have the friends for it. Don't you give up on your dream. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. It may take you 20. Don't you give up on your dream.
So that for me just encapsulates what I've picked up over the years with regard to entrepreneurship. And I think even more so for people or entrepreneurs that are sitting in really difficult situations, because those then really are the true entrepreneurs. Thank you very much.
Ngqwemla will be moderating the session. And then joining our panel is Ms. Loyiso, who is the chairperson at the Financial Systems Business Environment Portfolio at the Cape Chamber. Could you all give her a hand? And then next up we have Ms. Khayelitsha from ABSA, who is the Regional Specialist Alternative Lending and Enterprise Development. Could you all give her a hand? Thank you. And then last up we have Ms. Denise Chaplot from SIFA. Could you all give her a hand?
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Ngqwemla. I am the founder and CEO of Interchange Learning, a soft skills training company that is based here in Khayelitsha. It is a great honor for me to have these giants with me on the panel today. So I'd just like to take a moment to welcome each and every one of you today. I'd like to welcome on this panel Loyiso. Let's give her a round of applause. I'd like to introduce Ms. Mona Lisa Maposa. Give Mona a round of applause. I like how the SIFA lady was represented on the program. It says deal maker. I like hearing from deal maker. Let's give a round of applause for Dennis. Today is a prestigious event that is hosted by Cape Chamber of Commerce and Industries. We are excited, I'm personally excited as an entrepreneur in Khayelitsha to relaunch this chapter to plug entrepreneurs and businesses into a bigger structure. And today is about highlighting local entrepreneurs that are tackling and struggling with the topic access to finance. So our theme for today is Khayelitsha ready for business. Yay! I see you, future billionaires. I see you, international brands. I see you. So today, I have just a few questions that I would like to engage my panel on. So we did a survey and to ask local entrepreneurs on, firstly, the topic access to finance, probably what it means to entrepreneurs, and went on to ask questions like how do they find the application processes and so on. And we found about 63% of these entrepreneurs will say that they were unsuccessful in getting funding, and the reasons for being unsuccessful, they didn't have collateral, some didn't have, the application forms were complex, and there was lack of awareness in certain things, right? So, but I'm glad that we're here today to address those topics. I'm old school, I still make notes. All right, so I'd like to ask all three of my fellow panelists, could each of you briefly describe your organization's role in supporting local entrepreneurs in Khayelitsha and your perspective on the current state of access to finance?
Thank you, Mr. Connor. So, good morning, everybody, or is it afternoon? Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having us here. So, my name is Loyiso, and I actually wear 2 hats, but today my hat is a chamber hat. So I chair the Financial Systems Committee at the Cape Chamber, and our work really is around trying to find alternatives for access to finance. So, and I think to your point, you're 100% spot on. You'll find entrepreneurs, startups will always struggle to be able to access finance. And it's for various reasons, right? Awareness being one of them, you're correct. Eligibility being the second. And obviously awareness as well. You'll find that most lending from the bank is very traditional, means it wants security, right? And that's how banks are able to find some sort of comfort that they're able to lend you money. But from an access to finance perspective in the chamber, the reason the committee is there is to find alternatives. And I think Khayelitsha is going to talk around alternatives a lot today. What is alternative lending? Alternative lending really is the alternative to traditional lending where you require security. So what are the options? And that's what most of the financial institutions, including the CFAs, actually have in store of what's available. But I think we also realize that awareness is a problem, right? I think in all the communities, in all the small business spaces, and the chamber seeks to do that, to create awareness around just the alternatives that are available, whether you're an established business, whether you're a small business, whether you're a startup, or whether you're still thinking of starting a business. That's basically why we're here, so that we can cause a bit of awareness and give you some information around where to even begin. There's a lot of people who are employed and they're thinking of going and starting something, but they have no idea where to start. They worry about how much capital they're going to need. They're worried about, they've got an idea. One thing you can always rely on, an entrepreneur will always have an idea and they believe in their idea. The problem is where they start. And I think that's what we want to try and give you sight of here today. And I think what we're going to share, it just so happens that ABSA is here and CFA is here, but most financial institutions actually offer all of these alternative lending solutions to help entrepreneurs to be able to give them that kickstart of their business. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the beautiful MC of this panel. Thank you, and good morning to everyone. My name is Khayelitsha, and I'm the Enterprise Development Specialist for the West End Cape. So specifically my role is around driving enterprise development, and the things that we really are very focused on from our side is really bridging the gap. When we're speaking about the gaps, we're speaking about even knowledge gap. I've spent a lot of time, fortunately, here in Savannah through the Surulo Foundation. We're here in Khayelitsha. We are saying, how do we do funding readiness, where we shrink the giant, where we speak in a language that you are able to understand, and you are able to then break down what seems to be such a huge mountain when it comes to accessing finance. And you realize that sometimes we shy away from even approaching banks. We'd rather go to your macro lenders and all of these other easy to access type of finance, because for us we don't understand what is really required. And I know a lot of people who say this red tape, but when you break it down, you start to realize that these are things that you actually already have in your business. For example, if you are really running a legitimate business, you will know that in order for you to make decisions, you need to have sight of your financials. You need to see money coming in and coming out. So when the bank says it needs financial, it's not a red tape. It's something that you already have in your business. If the bank says, listen, we just want to see your management accounts, that's not a red tape. That's something that you already have in your business. When we talk about needing a business plan, every business has to plan. You have to have a business plan that maps out this business and what you need to do. So when we really then have a conversation in that fashion, we're able to really break down what this seems to be like red tape, and we get to understand that these are things that you already need in your business, that you already have to have in your business. But more than anything is then to then say, okay, fine, some of these things are very expensive, because I know some of our SMMEs will say, listen, every money that I have and I'm making in my business, I'm putting it back to grow the business. I don't have money to pay an accountant to do this. So that's why we make it easy, like even with the fact that our check account has got a cash flow manager, which is an accounting software, which will help you to actually have those management accounts that will require, and it's a free package that comes with having the account. So it's a matter of us saying that we understand some of the things that are really a hurdle, but it's around us being open to then say, okay, fine, how do we start putting systems and structures in place, good foundations in place that set us up and make us to be ready to access funding. But the other thing that I understand, I think also John mentioned it, is the fact that we understand the history of our country and where a lot of our SMMEs are coming from in terms of their background. So when we speak about collateral, we understand that we are asking for something that some of the SMMEs don't have. So that is why we've got what we okay. So that is why we've got something which we call alternative lending solutions. So alternative lending solution helps us then to actually do unsecured lending as a bank, because there is a risk that we started with home risk. So when we finance your business, we are basically taking the risk. So we actually get alternative lending solution that helps us, the bank, to mitigate this risk and afford us the opportunity to do that finance, even though there is no tangible security that is offered from you. But what is important that I need to leave with you is the fact that affordability, repayment ability, those are the keywords. So which means that, are you able to afford this finance? Are you able to afford the finance that you are looking for? So those are the things that I say as a business owner, that is within your control. You need to focus on that, which means do what you do best, which is doing business and making money, to create that affordability, to create that scope. Then when you are able to come to institutions like ABSA and help you to come through, we are able to then take care of the risk when it comes to collateral. I'm going to give you just one example, so it won't take long. There's one lady, I think she is here, she owns a beauty space. Yeah, there she is. Unoli is one of the SMMEs that are part of the Loyiso Foundation. And through our enterprise development, we understood that her growth required for her to be able to offer more services to her clients. So when you come in, you do your lashes, you do your facial, you buy a cream, you done. But then when she spoke to me and said, you know what, if I could get another machine, it means now I can actually do like a peeling type of treatment, which is an additional type of revenue that can come in. And we understood that actually will unlock exactly what we're talking about the fact that we need to start increasing our revenue, we need to start diversifying our income so that affordability is not an issue. So when you go to the bank, the issue is not the fact that you can't afford, but it can be any other issue. And that other issue, through enterprise development and alternative lending solution, we can partner together and see how do we help you to solve for those.
Nice. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Khayelitsha and I work at a small enterprise finance agency. As our MC mentioned, that I'm one of the deal makers. And I also like that description. The reason why I say that is our aim is to make a business work, not to decline it. So when we get approached by any entrepreneur, we want to see that, at the risk of repeating what the previous speaker said, we want to see that there's affordability for the loan, we want to see that you can sustain the loan for the period of the loan, and most of all, we want to see that there's profits in the venture so that you can reinvest that and grow your business. So those are the key foundations that we look at. Note that we are DFI, and although John threw us under the bus and said that our turnaround time is long, it is long. It is long. However, we do due diligence and very deep due diligence because we don't have none of the traditional securities and collateral to rely on. So we have to rely on the competencies of the entrepreneur, We have to rely on the offtakes that an entrepreneur has that shows us as a cash flow funder to say that you know that you're going to get 20,000 over 12 months. Where's that 20,000 going to come from? After you've taken your expenses off that 20,000, how much do you have to support the loan? Not you as, but at we don't want you, your family or SASSA to repay that loan. It is the actual business activity that needs to repay that loan. And that is why the due diligence is so deep. So we also look at the period of the loan, and we say, if you only have work for 1 year, and you want a loan of 5 years, how are you going to stay in the 4 years? Who are you going to tap to repay that loan? So the business will decide what you can afford and for how long. So I will be able to tell you that you start with one branch first. Right? You open your first internet cafe first. And when that one can sustain itself, then you branch out to the next one. When that one is breaking even, then you branch out to the next one. And most of us want the big money. We all want it. But can we afford to repay that back? So we just need to be a little bit more realistic and take small bites and grow ourselves to the point where we can say that today I can sit here and actually present how I started and how I got to this point. In terms of access to funds, it's a challenge. Like my fellow presenter said, it's a monster. No, my fellow presenter said it's a monster to break down the application process. You know, I mean, most of our kids all now, and they can go onto our website and quickly navigate through it. But it's not easy even for me. Technology has always been a challenge and always probably will be, because it develops and changes so quickly. But yeah, there's things that the business should have. That is why you call yourself a business. And compliance is very, very key. So once you comply and you come to me and you say, I'm ready for you, then all of those things should already be in place. And there is instances, Craig Jarvis can assist you with it, Cedar can assist you with it. So there's a lot of opportunities where you don't have to sit there at night and go, I don't know where to start. You can also call the office and they'll explain to you. We are using Monalisa's tax money to pay your loan or to grant the loan to you. Therefore, if you want to benefit from taxpayers' money, we need to make sure that you contribute to the pot so that we can also help our beautiful MC here. And you can also help your neighbor that wants to start. So there's certain things that is really fairness policy that we say, if you want to benefit, let us all work together so that more and more people repayments. You need to be able to repay, therefore affordability is key. So it is not such a monster. It is just something that you need to do a checklist and take, I've got that, I've got that, I've got that. And now you go and you say, Sifa, what type of products and services do you have available? Absolutely, what do you have available that fits my beauty salon? And say, I need an exfoliator in order to assist my clients. I need a computer. I need training material. And that is what I need for now. I will come to you for my next branch or for my next problems that I want to expand into. And if we can all take that approach, it makes it much more easier for us to assist as well, because we work with a fundable proposition, we work with a doable proposition, we work with a proposition that is sustainable, and most of all, we work with a proposition that is profitable, that will make you open that next branch, venture into the next province. I'm sorry for all that.
Thank you very much. Sifa, we need microphones at Sidiva. Thank you very much. That was a great presentation from all of you, my fellow panelists. You have touched on all the questions that I had prepared, so it puts me in an awkward position. I'm happy to hear about from you touching on awareness, because awareness is one of the things that came out from entrepreneurs, that they don't know where these funding opportunities are coming from. They don't know where they are being, their final decisions are being made. They just see people get finance, from the government, and from other institutions. So I'm happy to hear you emphasize more on awareness, and also like I was excited to hear about enterprise development from ABSA, and you see them at work. And also the word that comes up the most, affordability. There's affordability, so I think or around financial literacy for entrepreneurs, so we can be able to understand that aspect some more. So one last question that I'd like to also ask all of you: what is the future for Khayelitsha in business from here onwards, from your lenses, from SIFA, from ABSA, from Cape Chamber of Commerce? What is the future that you foresee for enterprises and entrepreneurs coming from this particular community?
Thank you for that question, Sukona. So I think, so today is a relaunch of the chapter, right? And just judging by how many people have showed up for this event already tells us the commitment that this community has to, I think, the empowerment of small businesses in this community in particular. One of the reasons the Chamber is here is to support that. And that already for us is a commitment that we are here for you. We are here to support the initiatives, and we want to be a place where you can come to for support, whether it's hosting events, whether it is to be a pillar where you can touch on to support some of the initiatives that you want to run. And I think the leaders of the chapter they are the ones who obviously steer this community in terms of these things. And from a commitment perspective, that's why the Chamber is here today. And it's really to make sure, and this is our commitment, that anything that has got to do with this community, empowering the small businesses in this community, how we can support and bring in as many stakeholders as possible, getting the banks here where possible, getting all the enterprise development stakeholders who are here to support, especially from an awareness perspective. And I think a big part of awareness is us showing up here and us having these workshops. And when we have these, and a big thank you to all Mutual for being part of this and sponsoring this as well. So when we show up here and we create these awareness sessions, it's already our first commitment of us wanting to this community and these business owners grow. It's already a commitment of us wanting and showing how we want to showcase some of the great work that can come up again, that we are able to already start even from an ABSA perspective to support some of the entrepreneurs in this community. So the commitment is definitely there. And I think any support that is required by the chapter in particular, we are here to support it from an initiative perspective, and as much awareness as possible, and whichever stake we need to bring to be able to support the initiatives of this chapter and the community, we are very open to that.
Thank you.
I think from my side, as a young girl growing up in the township, we've always seen, our mothers, our fathers doing business. You have mama selling apples in the corner, you have this one doing. But I do feel that now we are really shifting and we are getting into a new space where we are really actually building sustainable businesses. And it's really about growth. And then for me, what I'm seeing as well is I'm seeing where money is circulating in Khayelitsha, where it does not just want to spend 3 hours and it's out, because really the creativity that is in this space, and also, it's amazing to see. Like, I remember when we started, I think this is Tandy, if you remember, there was a gentleman from here who was actually an ex-convict. When he came out, he actually started his potter business. He was here in Khayelitsha, and he's doing exceptional well. So that's why I'm saying that we've always had this jam, of being able to do business, but because of now the support of Sulu Foundation coming through, we've got the chamber here. I mean, ABSA has always been here through Sulu as well. Is then to then say, how do we shift our mind in terms of how we do business and start building sustainable businesses where we will have more cellular technologies that will come out of Khayelitsha, where it's actually legacies. That is what I'm seeing, and it's definitely starting to happen, and it's starting in this room right now. Thanks so much.
As part of the CEPA mandate, and I think the higher ups, the higher ranking ministers and all of that, has actually seen that the amount of economy inside the township is in here, when I'm over here, and I thought it was really cute. On the side of the road, they've just used cones, and they walk like a little bit of the road, and then the cars put in there, and they do their car washes, and they feed the water from one of the houses from there. And that's 4 or 5 of them, and that is economic activity. I read, John, I don't know if you saw it, but inside the townships, the amount of money that just circulates was over 3 trillion, and I think everybody is seeing that people that thought they had no options, people that weren't looked after well, is actually creating it for themselves, they're surviving for themselves, and they're growing by themselves. We as government then comes on as a supporting arm, not to do it for you, but to help you do it or grow it or start it or expand it. And in terms of that product offering, we have a Township and Rural program that was launched 24, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And that is for existing, you have to be, the business operations needs to be in Khayelitsha. We're talking Khayelitsha now, it has to be here, right? So the mechanic person will buy parts from the engineer or have the engine schemed by the engineer next door. And therefore that circle, that money circle stays inside the township. The person that sells cheese and yama will buy their meat from somebody that brings the meat in from an abattoir, and he then gets his profits because he's supplying that. And that is how we want the money here. And then eventually they will build the Maponya wall. You know what I'm saying? So that product offering is here. The money is cheap as chips. It's 5% and it's a blended loan that gives you a working capital grant in order to assist your operations for the first 3 months. You can stretch it to 6 months. By really keeping operations lean, just so that you can sustain yourself until your own cash flows falls in after the 6 months of the burn month or how you work your cash flows on. The facility is not as really for startups and growth. So it will start at your max 350. Out of that 350 or 250, you can buy the equipment. And 100K will, up to 100K will carry you until your cash flows will end. The grant portion will always just be 100K. We don't want you to stay on that level. We don't want you to stay in that phase, because you don't need to be relying on the blended working capital grant. So eventually you will roll your own money, and on your operations, you will be able to sustain your own expenses. There's other expenses, there's other various products once you've graduated that you can also come to. The max come to us for the maximum facility on that trip that I just explained is R1 million. There is discussions for those that has already graduated that phase that they will increase it. We don't know when they're going to sign up, they wasn't talking about it. But if you really want to know the inner circle answers, just ask Johnny, and he'll tell you he knows everything. So that is what we have to offer. It's not just for us, but all townships. So go to the website, have a look, and feel free to call the office as well.
When we talk about masking all the time.
You just shared a very insightful.
You've all just shared very insightful points. We as local entrepreneurs have this informal slogan that we use. Each one rand must touch about 5 businesses within Khayelitsha before it goes out. So it means we've been ahead of time in thinking. So we need to just continue to support businesses and continue to action this mandate. Each one rand must at least touch 5 businesses before it goes out of Khayelitsha. I'm not going to open the platform to the floor. I'm going to take about 2, 3, 4 hands. We are running a little bit behind our schedule. So I'd just like to take some hands. We'll send the mic to you. 1, we can go in our number. We'll 1, 2, Sophie. 2 hands. All right. Okay, you can go, class.
I'm very overwhelmed.
Until.
Must have sleep up. Thank you so much. I'm very overwhelmed by this discussion because this is very to my heart. I'm an accountant. I run a consulting company where I create awareness of financial management and compliance. I mean, so I can attest to that. We go around all over to teach businesses about what goes into compliance, SARS, CIP, because we start businesses without knowing these things, you know. And I can tell if there's one thing that you can get out of today, any business, you cannot run away from compliance. You need to make that as important as possible. And I want to encourage the chamber to continue having this set, especially the financial management awareness. You know, you spoke about you know, the checklist. I mean, you'll find that the business has potential, but when it sits at your table, there's no tax clearance, there's no financial statements, there's nothing, and people are running away from those things. I just want to encourage each and every business here, encourage outside all the stakeholders. One thing that is missing in our society, it's this lack of awareness in our businesses. We need to start doing that. I mean, our business owners don't even know how SARS works. They just want to run away from SARS. But they don't know that a startup, if you're starting a business, SARS cannot just tax you. You know, you need to know how to calculate the taxable profit in order to be taxed by SARS. So you will not submit and get non-compliance. There's an opportunity of the business. It does not, you don't want to take care of it because your compliance is not ready. You know, so I'm challenging you guys to take this forward. Simple foundation.
Critics, fellow entrepreneurs, panelists. My name is Ngqwemla from a firm called Sobe Strategies, which is a management and project management research-based firm based here in Western Cape, based here in South Africa. But I think mine is a comment plus a question, because the issue of access to finance is a key conversation, and I think I would want to further translate to the issue of safety and security, understanding the current atmosphere within our communities, whether we just play Khayelitsha, and especially when it comes to government and how they fund us. Because again, it's okay when Sobe Strategies receive some funds from the government, and the government will easily publish that. Cape Seminars will pay even. But remember, our growth as small businesses is rather monitored by different stakeholders. Some of the stakeholders have ill intentions. So that rent, it's unable to circulate 5 times amount to entrepreneurs, employees. It's captured along the way, and the use is rather not a proactive one that can grow us. I think towards the chamber, because we've been following the work of the chamber, what is the plan from your end? Yes, you may talk about financial literacy, awareness, access, but what is the plan in terms of incorporating other stakeholders when having such engagements? What is the plan from the security side of things within the South African context? Who can we invite to have such discussions? You guys are going to give us the money. We need that person to say, we're going to protect these people once they receive the money. I think I would just want to pause there. Thank you so much.
Greetings, everyone.
when you have an existing company with different business models, and you are currently having an income from one model, but there is one that is dominant, and you want to ask for funding for the second model, are you going to be assessed or based on the current model that is working on, or on the projections on the one that you want to push?
Thank you so much. Can we just have about 10 minutes to go straight to the
Can I start with the last question? Okay. It depends. You have an existing entity, right? If you're having two income generators, the one model that is working, the one that you want to introduce, it is fine to introduce additional revenue streams. It is fine. But when we assess the entity, we assess the entity in its entirety. So we can say, historically, this is how the entity performed. Historically, without any additional assistance or support or funding or liabilities, this is how it performed, by not doing anything else, just doing what you're doing. You're changing your model now, or you're adding to your model under the same entity, right? If you're doing it under the same entity, I will test and stress the revenue generation ability of your new revenue stream. What we don't want is that one should carry the other, or one PTY should carry or cripple the other PTY. So whatever you are venturing into as an income stream must be profitable or feasible on its own, even if it's not as. So it won't be a disadvantage. I would add it as a benefit, as long as the one doesn't piggyback on the other one. Because you don't want to cripple your existing business, it is working. Do you want to try?
Okay, not to waste time, I don't want to repeat what Dennis has said, but I think the only thing that I would like to just add is that we've done a funding readiness program through the Sululo Foundation, and I know we've had a discussion with Luvuyo to then say, how do we intensify that? Because there's a part there where we cover the 5 C's of credit, which helps you to understand in terms of what are the things that any creditor would look at or any investor would look at into your business. So those are 5 C's where we break it down, we go into detail. So I think it will help in answering, in adding to what my colleague has said as well, to understand if you are having this business, because we look at you holistically, we look at you as an individual, look at your credit profile, look at the other business, so we look at you holistically and including your business. That is good for you to understand. So I hope the gentleman is part of the Sululo Foundation so that we can actually have a second round of that funding readiness program, because I do feel that we can't do it as a one-off. We once off, we need to actually go into detail, and even if it means we spend one-on-one time, you bring your financials, let's sit down, let's see where the gaps are, where we can support you and advise you.
Thanks, Khayelitsha. I think that is a brilliant answer. So I think I want to answer 2 questions. I think I just want to latch on to what the ladies have just said. So understanding your business and finance is a journey. It's not something you learn overnight. Most of the things that I think Ubuji mentioned there around just even understanding finance and accounting, what goes into an income statement and a balance sheet, it's a journey. And it's a journey that you have to start slowly educating yourself around so that you can also understand some of the things that happens in your income statement and your balance sheet. One of the challenges that most of the organizations or financial institutions is when you provide a bank with a set of financials, it's very important as for us to know, and I work for a financial institution, that you at least have some high-level understanding of what's going on. Because in many instances, you'll find it came from the accountant, but you have no idea what's happening. So when the bank asks you questions, then you can't answer. And that already breaks confidence from the bank, that if you don't know what's happening, then we worry about the jockey that we are funding. So I think I'd like to encourage everybody, I think with all of the sessions that Khayelitsha and Sululo are having, please attend them if you are able to. And I say, just do yourself and your business a favor, because the more you know, the more you are able to find ways to be able to add to to how you can grow your business and obviously increase the revenue streams, I think, in your business. And I think who spoke about security and what are some of the things that the chamber can assist with. So one of the reasons for this chapter is for awareness and is to bring the relevant people in the community to address certain things that seem to be hindering the small businesses in this community. So I do hope that when the chapter does have events and they do have initiatives that they run, that you attend, and I'm sure that there will be speakers and there will be initiatives run to make sure that they address some of the ills that the community actually has. And obviously it's via the chamber, and we are always happy to support in terms of bringing in stakeholders that can address certain things, all in efforts to aid the growth of the community and the growth of the small businesses. I think in Khayelitsha. Thank you.
Yes, clap for mine. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank you all for coming here today and giving us your time. It gives me great pride as a local entrepreneur to have such big stakeholders come to hear us out. It means we're ready. We're ready for finance. We're ready for business. It means we carry some weight as township entrepreneurs. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to all the entrepreneurs that came out today and all the future of this community. And I'd like to encourage us all to take the actionable advice that has been given here today. We can follow up, we can make the networks, so we need to just step out and network with the relevant people and encourage us to move as a unit, move in numbers, move as a unit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the lovely session we just had. So next up on our item is another panel session, and this one it involves the Khayelitsha entrepreneurs. So we have our moderator, Mr. Loyiso, who will be moderating the session. Can you all give us Okay, and also joining our panel from entrepreneurs, we have Ms. Khayelitsha, who is the founder of Pro Dynamic Properties. Can you all give her a hand? Okay, and then second up, we have Mr. Ngqwemla, who is the founder of Sunusapo Burial Society. Could you all give him a hand? Okay, and then next up, we have Mr. Shepherd Bani, who is the founder of Malusi Coffee. Can you give him a hand? And then last up, we have Ms. Sandile Tagi, who is the founder of Sydney Take and Turn. Yeah, thank you.
So we are going to be quick. So just intro, it has to be a pitch, 30-second pitch in terms of about your business. Just a quick 30 seconds, and then we can go through that.
My name is Khayelitsha. I'm from Sinclair Tech and Teleservices. We are a call center, a BPO. We work with businesses. We are a business-to-business model, and the call center is based here in Khayelitsha. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shepherd. I'm the founder of Malusi Coffee, a mobile coffee catering company, as well as I do barista trainings with NGOs.
Hi everyone, my name is Ngqwemla. I run Sunusapo Burial Society. It's an insurance business. We do funeral policies, and also we do the funeral parlor, which is burials. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Khayelitsha. I am of Pro Dynamic Properties. We are doing rental management and sales of properties in the residential area. Thanks.
Yeah, okay, thanks. So you just hear Dennis and then Ulan Mona Lisa. They talk about Dennis over 3 years. I mean, so talk about in terms of like how the funding is there, the opportunities are there, and it says that as long as you kind of comply and able to do the 5 C's, the chances are there. So the question in your experience, I mean, what are the hindrances for you to access to the finance? What are the challenges that you kind of encounter to the extent that it becomes a problem for you to access to finances?
I think as one of the gentlemen, they spoke about how we are less knowledgeable as in how to go about it. I feel like that's actually the most high thing that hinders me from going forward. And just presenting myself and doing that application, going through it's like that fear of the unknown, because I don't know what to expect. I'm actually refusing to go forth and do that which I need, which is going to be boosting my business, because I need the finances. However, I'm not knowledgeable as in how to go about it.
I think on my side, what I can say is you have the coming. So what the banks were looking for at the same time is how do you get the revenue, and then also put that in perspective in your business and your spending. So due to the money that we do, also accounting system-wise, so we were unable to generate a clear picture in terms of this is how we get the money, this is what we do with the money, and then this is how we pay the money. And then at the same time, we had an issue with how expenses were ran. So you'll find that the banks will say, no, there seems to be too much spending in this account. And then we say, but this is where we operate. And then on top of that, what I started doing, I started splitting out with them who have an HR account where I say, take a sum here and then side, and then you can be able to pay employees, but that also didn't work. So now it was a matter of having proper systems in place. So that's where we struggle now to make sure which systems do we apply and then how do we move on and all of that, but it's already in progress.
My side, I would say that first thing, I needed to raise capital or funding, or the customer is the funding for my business, which I went and started a business and started trading. And then things didn't go well because of these issues that I had. And then that is when I joined this little foundation. Then I started learning about the different avenue or stakeholders that offer the funding. So currently I've not yet reached out for any funding, but in terms of what I've learned through the boot camps, in terms of what already we've spoken about, the things that have been touched, like compliance, I've learned and I've made sure that I've learned and I've made sure that my business is compliant and went and did all the steps. I'm still in the process of the 18 steps that I will learn from my current models, which I'm still doing some of the steps. Then I think when I go and reach out for funding, I'm hoping that I will be compliant and receive some funding.
For me, it was also part of a compliance rather, because my business is officially a year now, well, my new business, because I've had this is the third business that I'm trying to run. But most importantly, I haven't reached out for necessarily external funding because the biggest challenge for my call center is access to market. Because I feel like if I go ask for funding and get the 20 laptops, get headsets and set up, where are the clients? How am I going to sustain the business so that it can actually grow out of my house? So there's going to be that time. But for now, I'm also scared of extortion. That's another biggest fear, that I'm going to go out there, get these clients, and then there's going to come people that's going to come and take everything that I've worked hard for. So part of it is being scared that, because I know the call center concept of business can be like a really big business in Khayelitsha, can help a lot of people. However, because of one, it was a young business. Two, because of access or challenges of access to market to get business so that I can run it a sustainable business, so that I can get more funding, so that I can build the call center. So it's run out.
Okay, maybe that's my around for some time. Started maybe close first one, call center, and then we kind of keep on pushing difficult so that whenever you still kind of there. What keeps you going? What's kind of like you see that makes you
love for my community. I also didn't know why, because when I go outside of Khayelitsha, I say my name is Khayelitsha and I'm from the United States of Khayelitsha. Because I really feel like we have become, or rather I'm trying to run away from the fact that the circumstances that we've been sort of, whose dignity was their name, where we like feeling sorry for ourselves. Was to encourage other people that, you know, there is more than sort of business that you can run in the township other than a salon. But those are good. But I am a dreamer and I've learned to accept that. The second one was a call center as well, called Culture Call Center. It was so challenging. Again, it was access to market. And then with this one, it's just the love of my community. A lot of people, a lot of young people work outside of Khayelitsha. Now what we want to tackle is the finance. It's a lot of money to go to town, close to 100 rand, just one day go to town. You have to wake up very early, so there's also challenges of health and also challenges of having to be mentally fit. So going to town is three things. You lose money, you lose your health, and you lose your family and your wealth. So we wanted to tackle those, and I felt like because almost over 70% of young people work outside of Khayelitsha, we can't save. We can't spend time with our families. At the same time, we can't grow as fast as other peers from other communities that are more sort of, I don't know, you know what I mean, right? Okay. Yeah.
And then bondage, and then you can still come. I mean, what's kind of about, because your story is kind of amazing. And the story for many of young people who were done wrong but come back. And the story also saying that crime doesn't pay now. So what for me it says that you believe in this chain of your entrepreneurship.
So for me, that's want to answer that question. I think for me, I would say also Church of my sister said is that I want to sort of like be that example on the young boy in the township, as well as you touch on earlier on the mindset that most guys have in the township, that in order for you to survive or to make money, you need to go and steal or rob or commit a crime. So it actually keeps me in this journey, although I've met so many obstacles, you know, taken from my background, you know, I started, like I said, I mentioned previous times to you that I did my first CV at Sululo Foundation, Sululo Technologies, when I left school, which is I dropped out of school. Now I'm currently doing a business entrepreneurship program with the Sululo Foundation. So that for me, as I was sitting there reflecting, is that I need to sort of like be that person that a young boy would know that crime is not a solution. You know, you can do it whether you have the background or not. Like the gentleman, the speaker that spoke, Mr. Peter, to say whether your background, you know, is against you, but you can still overcome the obstacles because of the mindset and the belief. So for me, what kept me going is overcoming those self-beliefs. You know, sometimes it's our belief system that we need to overcome. So I totally just see possibilities and see myself accomplishing this, even though I see it's taking a lot of time, but I just believe in myself that it's possible.
You work with your brother, it's become the family, and you are really growing, kind of like, you are not sure next game changer kind of around the insurance service. Because your business is, I mean, the way monthly signing in every month is kind of showing that you're growing now. But the biggest thing, it was you were looking for role model. You were looking for people that you can look up to and able to say that if they can do it, you could do it. Why is it so important for you?
I think one of the biggest motivators would be starting from the bottom. I don't believe in handouts. I don't believe in people giving me something in order for me to move. I believe in learning. And for me, in order for you to help me, give me something that can sustain me to move forward. So, for example, I came to the Sululo Foundation and you didn't give us money. You opened up our minds, you broke us into pieces. And going through the ESA program, for example, going to the fund of working with family. So I work with my family because I believe that I've pushed hard so that I can employ my cousin, my brother, and my older brother's son. So employing your family and everyone around you, for me, felt like a responsibility because when I was working, I was taking care of everyone. So being that taking care of person, you still want to continue doing it. But at the same time, when it comes to business, it becomes a problem. So now, what ISA identified for me in that process was that you have this hierarchy, it's looking very beautiful. But at the same time, when it comes to accountability and financial management, it's actually crippling your business in a way or two. So right there, that's when I spoke to them and confessing some of the things that I did wrong, that's when I learned, looking to the future has always kept me going. And being where we are today in Khayelitsha, for example, the only thing that kept us relevant in Khayelitsha was to be different. And we started different in 2019, it's 2024 now, we're still different. And all our competitors, some of them have given up because they took the money and they ate it. I still drove the same car, stayed in the same township, lived the same life, and never changed. So future for me is what drives us because I believe we can still have a fintech business in insurance coming from Khayelitsha. So now the next thing in my view is to move to the next step.
So how important is because I think one thing from as much as we're trying to set up a short-term Khayelitsha, but we're operating holistically, operating South Africa, in Africa, so our mind is kind of broader than the most important. Why do you
the ecosystem?
It is extremely important for me because as much as my business is still a baby, I have grown so much since I have got myself involved with the Sululo Foundation. Many things that I've put in place now is because of foundation. If it Sululo Foundation, maybe I would have closed my doors, especially because I've been doing this all alone. The road to entrepreneurship is very lonely. It's daunting at times. You want to just throw away your tools and say, I give up. But this community has held me so tight that every achievement that I've done has just, I think that's just, it's more than I can explain it. But this community is my home, my family. As part of ProDynamic, it is ProDynamic Properties to me. I live, I sleep, I dream Sululo Foundation.
This because
what message for this session?
I think sometimes it's important to look at where people are instead of looking at what the protocol is saying, what the mandate is saying, you know, what needs to be done in order for other things to be done. Look at people's situations and read from them and see the future. And read from them and see what they're actually looking for and empower them to from where they are instead of having to say, no, we can't help right now, you need this and that. Because some things we can't acquire at this point because we are a small business. I was saying to the other event that you will see Mama that's studying an ECD, has no education, but you are requiring her to register and do institutions and do that, and you can't help the mother that's helping the community. Sometimes we just need to take out our professionalism, we need to take out the institutions, we need to take out the mandates and all these other things that are put on red tape and say, okay, what does the culture, the Tech and Teleservices call center need right now. They need clients. Okay, how can we help you? Let's not go under these big businesses and help them. There's this other small business that does coffee. What does he need now? Yes, we need these things. It's very important. But what does he need now in order for them to grow so that next time when they ask for bigger things, then you know that, these are the things that's needed.
Message that I want to share, like collectively with everyone. I would say just based on my own, if anyone maybe amongst the audience is having an idea, you want to do something, I would say that go for it. Like I'm this journey of, like I said earlier, overcoming the self-doubts, the belief system that you can't do something because you need to do something. So Dr. Michael Morris says that entrepreneurship is all about taking action. So you first start taking the action, then you follow the steps. So if you have action that will help the community, you have something that you want to offer for society, for it. Don't doubt, take action.
All right. Mine is very simple. I think to the banks, to the department, to everyone that actually deals with entrepreneurs, what you want to see from us, help us walk that direction. Because we can have so many advices, but in the end, whatever we do, there's a certain way that you want it done. There's a biasness that you prefer. Help us get there. Because in our application, we just need that proper guidance so that we can get that full access. And to our entrepreneurs, I think, guys, it's very important for us to work together and not walk against each other. And like Mr. Lo has done it, keeping us in one room is very important, and being honest to each other and buying from one another is the best move forward.
Well, I believe that for you to support anything, it starts by you believing in it. If you believe in us, you definitely are going to support us. There is hope in township economy. We can do this with your support. So we're urging you to be just behind us, encourage us, walk with us. We are telling you now there is hope in us, and we can do it if we have your support. Thank you.
Yeah, good anyway. We're done. And thank you so much. It's been amazing working with you.
Thank you, Mr. Khali, and also thank you to the panelists. And that was such an informative session on entrepreneurship. And also learning that entrepreneurship is about not only building ourselves, but also building others in our communities. Thank you so much. And then I'll take my check. Okay, so without taking more time, I would like to introduce our next speaker, who is Mr. Loyiso Ngqwemla, who is the chair at the Khayelitsha chapter, and he will be showing the way forward. You can all give him a hand.
Good afternoon, everybody. Firstly, let me apologize before I say anything. We are late. I'm a man of my word. I like to keep time, so we are late. So I sincerely apologize for that. We'll try to do better next time. Number two, I'm an African. Therefore, as an African, the first thing that you do, you introduce yourself. I'm wearing too many hats, but I'm going to focus on why we're here today. Loyiso is my name and surname. I come from the clan of the Khayelitsha. My parents are originally from Mthatha, and I'm born and bred in Cape Town, from the first township in the Western Cape, Walanga. and then someone that knows me from my other days said, "But why are you here?" Lama Khayelitsha, leading the chapter. I said, I'm a man of many heads. You go to Gauteng, they will tell you about me. You go almost everywhere in South Africa. I am there, and there's a reason for that. I am passionate about development, be it personal or in business. So my being and what keeps me going is to see others thrive. Hence I associate with the brand as a game changer. I serve in other boards for the same reason, but we are here today to relaunch the game changer. So you don't just become a leader in the kitchen. Others don't know me as a business person. I'm a very passionate entrepreneur. When I was still in corporate, I registered a business then. But I think my value add is not in the name of that business. I white label that business. The name of the business is Khayelitsha. I provide practical forethought solutions. I want to believe I'm a strategist. I'm a managerial leadership development specialist. But when I'm in the room, I white label myself and follow the brand that I represent. Thank you for giving me this opportunity today to be part of this successful event. And before I say anything, I said I'm an African. And I want to say thank you to Isivivana for hosting us. It's a beautiful facility. It's well maintained. And that does not happen by chance. It's true leadership. We are here today not by chance. We are led. Yes. I also serve on the Cape Chamber Board, and you've seen John here, who is an executive looking after the operations of the Cape Chamber. He has shared some good news with us today. That does not happen without leadership. When we're busy planning this event, collaborating with the likes of the Silulu Foundation, and getting some insights in terms of how do we make this event a success. What are the major challenges that entrepreneurs in Khayelitsha are facing? Because we strongly believe that, and I advocate for that talk is cheap, action is everything. So we pleaded to the leadership of Chamber, where I must say I recused myself when John took the matter to the board to get the blessings of the board to say, John, I can't be a referee and a player. I serve on the board because of my integrity. I serve on the board because of my ethics. If you want to upset me, taint my integrity, you will see the other side of me. It's what I live for. So we proposed that people of Khayelitsha needs the chamber. Why people of Khayelitsha needs the chamber? Because the mandate of the chamber is very simple. Is to serve and enable and lead business in the region. That's very simple. That's what I like. Most people that know me will tell you I filter noise. Don't give me detail until I ask for it, because I've already figured out the path. So the mandate of the chamber is to serve. So we are saying, Khayelitsha, we are here to serve. And we can't do that without you. And what this country has that we are undermining as South Africans is the diversity that we have. We need to leverage our diversity. I don't see my old mutual brothers and sisters, but I just want to tell them something. They are 100. Okay, you shifted. They are 179 years old. Again, that's not by chance. It's through management and leadership, not just any leadership, ethical leadership, hence governance. When we talk of governance, we're talking about processes and respecting those processes. But let me tell you, my old mutual friends, Cape Chamber is 220 years old. So we can engage on how we've managed to keep these structures and see, because these structures were established pre-1994. A lot has changed since 1994. Hence, I talk about leveraging our diversity. Hence, today, we're relaunching the Cape Chamber to say, when these organizations were set up many, many years ago, before our lifetime, the voices in this room were not present. Therefore, fairness and equity in engagement is very important. I'm surprised, I didn't want to mention, but I have to mention this. I'm surprised to see my fellow board member, who happened to be a friend over time based on us sharing similar vision and what we seek to achieve for this country, and a founder member of an organization that's changing lives in most of our townships. I have to, because it's a man that I respect for what he has done for South.
So now, just in closing, we're going to have the vote of thanks, and it is done by Ms. Ngqwemla as well as Mr. Fudo from M2 Consulting and Training. Can you please give them a hand?
Wow, what a lovely event. Mr. Ngqwemla has said it all. We're in Khayelitsha, and the best way to thank people is just Ngos. Ngos just means thank you. I'd like to thank Cape Chamber of Commerce leadership for this amazing initiative. It's been an ongoing conversation for months. I'm happy and I'm proud. It's been a great success. I'd like to thank Old Mutual for being a partner today and making it possible. I'd also like to thank ABSA. I'd also like to thank the Silulu Foundation, because all of the entrepreneurs that you saw here were from the Silulu Foundation, which is showing a model for incubation that works. So we're kind of excited for that. A round of applause. Most importantly, I'd like to shed light to the entrepreneurs that are in this room. Give yourselves a huge round of applause. Apparently, the future of business is white and male. I stand here as a face of black and female women in business. So to every entrepreneur that is here, that is a woman, that is a man, it doesn't matter. All that is important is we're all collectively empowering and encouraging growth of the economy of the township. We carry the economy. we carry the economy. So we give out, in terms of the extortion, protection fee, we will still find a way within ourselves if we're a collective and fighting against what is the elephant in the room. So we're grateful for the platform. Thank you very much for your answer.
So the time that we've all been waiting for, and I'm sure everyone has been waiting for this moment, is now refreshment as well as networking. So I really encourage everyone, if you have any questions to our panelists or our speakers, do go to them and ask them questions. And also thank you so much. I've learned a lot from this session from each and every one of you guys. And yeah, take action for Khayelitsha. Oh, sorry, one moment, just a moment. Mr. Johnson handed out feedback. So maybe give it back to him or me. Thank you, everyone.